And if she does, it should be.
So whenever you're ready, Pam, we get started.
As soon as it tells me, I'll let you know.
Okay.
You are live.
Okay, 6 o'clock, we'll go ahead and start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. The first thing on the agenda is approval of the agenda. And a couple things, or 3 things I want to add. The Highway Department additional appropriations of transfer and a memorandum of understanding the slide corrections.
Is that under highway, Tom? Is that
Yes, all 3 of those are under
Okay.
item, well, actually in line 4, where I'd like to put it, after the claims by Pam.
Okay.
You good with that?
Yep. You need a motion?
What about the airport? You doing not?
Oh, and then on item 5,
Oh, Port Authority.
we have the Port Authority appointment coming up.
Okay.
And add that too. Just an announcement, we're not making that appointment. You good?
Yeah, I make a motion to accept the agenda as modified.
Okay, and we second, 2-0. All right, Pam, you're up.
Okay, I've got a few things. Payroll that was distributed out on August the 29th to all county employees for $149,445.65.
Nothing odd about
We do that separately. I'll make a motion to accept the payroll distribution.
And I'll second it. 2-0. Yeah, we normally do it separately.
Next is the payroll benefits of all the different county insurances that we've paid out during this period for the payrolls for $61,653.03 altogether.
Okay.
There's several of them there to sign.
Any questions on
I'd like to make a motion to accept that payroll benefits.
it? Okay, and I'll second that. Motion carried 2-0.
Okay, the other thing I have are the claims for the county general and the county highway. County general was for $246,596.79. Highway was for $105,086.55 for a total of $351,683.34.
Did you get a chance to review them?
Yeah, I did. I got one quick question, Pam. I'm not sure you can answer it. We have a
Okay.
charge in here for Lincoln Hills Development for $5,000. It's under administrative. I didn't highlight that one. Could you tell me what that is?
Not without looking at the claim, I honestly
All right.
can't.
I should have asked you earlier.
Okay, and it's for how much?
5,000.
Even?
Yes.
Okay. I
It's
can
on
check on it and
page
send you.
6.
Okay, page 6. I
Right.
can check on it and send you an email on it.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
I'll second that.
Okay, and I have just a couple of other short announcements. You have already approved this. This is the salary recommendation of the 5% that you recommended to the county council for budgets. We've got the paper all typed up now with all the new amounts that if you guys can sign it.
It's already approved?
Yes,
It's already been approved, yeah.
we just had to get it typed up and ready.
This is going to the council.
Not yet, it will go
It will
to the
go
council.
Yeah.
But it's us figuring the 5% and everything. And then the last thing I have, just to let you an update as far as Dixon Auction and Realty, got a hold of, sent an email out to the administrator. The items that we sent or they picked up for auction is going to be at their auction on September the 24th at 9 a.m. And they asked if to advertise the owner as the Perry County Commissioners I did tell him yes, because I wasn't for sure what other name it should go under. Because
Right,
it
I
was
mean,
the
that's who's-
ownership
that's
of
who's on
stuff
the
here.
title of the
Yeah,
one vehicle.
yeah. So just to let you know, they're gonna do it on September the 24th at 9 a.m. to include it in that auction.
So how many items total is it? Yes.
Teresa, well, there was probably 3 or 4 tables, that car. I'm not sure what all they took out of the shed as
I
far
know
as,
they had some garden,
yeah, and I'm not sure how much of that they took, but those are the items that we're talking about.
okay.
And that is all I have then.
Steve, Al, you're up. Additional appropriation.
I've got 2 additional appropriations. One's for $40,000 from the MVH 1176 to vehicle repair. Our grader went 5 years old, the transmission went out of it. And they had told me $20,600 for the transmission, but they told me Thursday it's gonna be possibly $45,000 with the labor and everything. So we're gonna have, they're not helping me any on the warranty yet. I talked with Caterpillar themselves today, and they're supposed to call me back and see if they can help me on. 5-year-old grader, you shouldn't be having to
How
replace the
many
transmission.
hours do you have on it, you know?
I don't remember what the hours was on it. They said the warranty was for 4 years on the transmission. It's five years old.
I would think you, of course, you probably use it quite a bit, the
Yeah.
grader, don't you? Without it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, it's,
You expect 20 years out of a cat grader before you start
That's why
having.
you-
hopefully they will come up, so that's not the only Caterpillar equipment.
No. Then I have another one for $1,549. This from MVH 1170. Oh, this is to finish out what we're gonna need for health insurance for the rest of the year. And the transfer, I had to pull that, and we were gonna, mechanics truck, the bed almost rusted off it, and we was trying to find a bed, and we had one located, and we found out today that it won't work on that truck, so we're gonna have to wait on that.
So no transfer?
No part transfer, no.
You're talking about the 6902? Is that the one you're not gonna transfer?
Yes.
Okay.
You had part of that, Steve, also going to health insurance out of that transfer, because the transfer,
Yeah, 8451 came out of that same account.
you were trying to
No,
move, you were moving part of it to new equipment. You were asking for 8451 altogether, but then you're asking to take part of out of, because that's your surplus or tax and wheel.
Yeah,
You were moving it into motor
Oh, okay.
vehicle highway, so I think you still have to do
Yeah.
that part,
okay.
the 1549.
Yeah, I didn't have a copy of it.
Yeah,
So
and
there's 250,
well,
one's an additional.
that's because we have to transfer it into the cash and then they have to appropriate. So we do have to do the transfer of the
Okay.
1549,
Okay.
just not the new equipment part.
All right.
Okay, so how do we make a motion for that, with the exception of the,
You just change as far as the
Transfer.
transfer, that you're reducing the transfer down to 1,549 instead of the 8,000 that he's asking for.
and that'll take care of it?
Yep.
And you still need the 40,000, which
That's an
hopefully
additional.
that'll go,
Yeah.
yeah, but we need to approve that too, right?
Right, right,
Okay,
yeah. Hopefully it'll come back and be reduced.
all right. So do we need to make these probably separately, right? For the vehicle repair versus the transfers?
Yeah, on that
Because
transfer,
the
Randy,
original additional appropriation, the other ones are transfers.
that's right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You have two different transactions.
right. So, I'll make a motion to move first the 40,000 for additional appropriation
No.
for the grader repair.
I'll second that. Carried 2-0.
Okay.
And then the next one will be a motion to transfer 1549, correct? In the
Mhm.
health care?
Instead of 8,000.
Yeah, instead of the 8,451. And then that'll be another one if you find a bid
Yeah.
later on.
Yeah.
Will you do the appropriation separately, Randy, or you want to do that together too, with this? Transfer?
You got more here yet?
Well, that 1549 has to be transferred and appropriated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, do we need to do it separately,
We
whatever?
has
can
to
do them
be-
together or separately.
It has to be because they've got it in surtax and wheel. They have to, since it's going from fund to fund, we have to move that cash over to MVH. And then we have to
Okay.
appropriate it out of MVH to be able to spend it.
Right.
So I just made a transfer,
Right.
Right.
okay?
And I'll second
Yeah.
the transfer.
And now I
Okay.
want to make a 1549 appropriation for health insurance.
Right.
And we'll do those then.
And that will be the AA also. Okay. Yep. It's confusing, but that's the only way we can do it.
Okay. And you got a memorandum for the.
Yeah, I got from NDOT, from an unofficial detour for the 62 being closed between St. Meinrad and Possum Junction. They're asking, they've got an official detour, but they're asking us for an unofficial detour where they'll pay for any damages done. This is gonna be on Apollonia Road to 145 and then Bristol St. Meinrad to St. Meinrad, Bristol to St. Meinrad.
And they agree to pay for any
Yeah.
damages.
And those roads are all in good shape now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because I think I've drove those.
Yeah.
And the slides up on 62, is it,
They've actually got, yeah, it's on 62 between Possum Junction and St. Meinrad, and they've got a closure between Possum Junction and
St.
St.
Croix.
Croix. And now they're gonna have a closure on 145 about a mile and a half south of Possum Junction. They asked for an unofficial detour on that, and the only thing we got is Cottonwood, one lane gravel road with curves and hills in it. They said there's gonna be heavy truck traffic. I told her, I said, we'll get somebody killed if we start running semis down that gravel road. And she said, well, we don't have to have an unofficial detour, they can just use the official detour. So we've only got to one now.
and then that's the way the Bristol Car Show comes in, doesn't it? And that's going to be blocked off.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they'll have
They'll have to drive down 37, come back around through
to have
Apollonia to get back into Bristol. That's
They'll
all
have an
comes back
official
up.
detour that they can
Yeah.
follow, it's,
There's a lot of them come in the top, out of the north though.
yeah.
They do.
Well, hopefully they'll advertise it, signage enough, people will be able to find it. So that along the road, I mean, it's not a bad road, it's just
Yeah.
not what they're used to.
Not for all that traffic. But, so what do we do with that thing? Just accept it and sign it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's got the reimbursement language in there, so
Yeah.
we're covered on it.
So,
Yeah, so we just motion to accept it.
I'll make a motion to accept this, what do we title it as?
Memorandum of Understanding.
Memorandum of Understanding with the state of Indiana.
And I'll second that. So, carry 2-0. All right, is that all you need, Steve?
That's all I had, thank you guys.
Okay, the first thing on the commissioner line is the contract for, with Indiana 15 with the planning and zoning maps. Susan Miller is here, you care to explain?
And Susan and I talked too, and so she asked me to kind of start off, and then she'll chip in, since I represent the Planning Commission as well. So, the Planning Commissions, both Tell City and Perry County, have zoning maps that you can go look at to see what the zoning designation is for your property or other property if you're going to buy it. And those are supposed to be kept up to date. We can't think of the last time the Perry County zoning map was updated, but it was sometime at or around the time the zoning code was actually adopted. So if you go in and look at the zoning map, which is in the zoning office, that's not going to tell you the whole story. It doesn't, because nobody went and, so what's supposed to happen is every couple of years when people, that the commissions make these zoning changes, you're supposed to amend the maps. That's what the ordinance says to do. But it has not been done because it costs money to do that every time you do it. So
So
Council, as I understand it, has appropriated some money to have Region 15 come in and update the map. So what that involves is actually going back through all the records in the zoning office from the time of the last map to today and finding all the areas that were rezoned and put those on the map. That's basically what it involves.
And the first estimate we got was way over $10,000, and so they, Tara Gammon, who was in this position, went out and did some research and came up where Region 15 would do it, and so not to exceed the $4,600. So that was quite a find that she found there for dollars. And then, so we had it in our line budget to start with, but then we kind of removed it because the council has told us that they were gonna, as long as you guys, we approved it, as long as you guys approve it, then the council is going to fund it. So it's a pretty big savings.
You'll notice too that,
Yeah.
I don't know when this was prepared, but it's supposed to have started May 31st and ends August 31st, so obviously.
They
that's
redid
been
that.
changed.
This is a copy of the contract that I had,
Yeah.
that Charlie got with them and Baumeister and redid the date. So we're good up through the September the 29th is that new date, as long as we get it back to them by then.
Oh,
So,
completion date by then?
well, that's the contract, the dollar amount is
Oh,
good for that,
okay.
yes. Yeah, they'll hope the price is not gonna change to that because,
Okay.
so,
So I got some questions.
hope I have answers.
Okay. Well, we've got it here, I see here where we've got 4,600 as a not to exceed.
Mhm.
When I look back over at the back side of it here, it looks like they're guaranteeing one big map and 3 other prints and 5 other ones for a total of 9 maps, the smallest one 11 by 17. I guess my question is, how did they arrive at $4,600? I mean, how many, we've got an hourly rate back there for that, and then there is a requirement for the Plan Commission to provide them all these documents. It says right here, the Plan Commission will provide the commission, speaking of Indiana Region 15, with ordinances, plats, and other pertinent documents that will require revision to the official Perry County zoning map. So somebody has to have those all dug out.
Yeah, we'll have to work on that to get those to them,
So
yes.
the Planning Commission will have to do all that legwork. Do you have any idea how many documents there
I
are?
have no clue how many documents that's going to be. I think, no, I do not.
Okay, so the question to me is how you come up with a price. Is it 1 or is it 100 or 1,000 or 100,000? You know, I'm exaggerating at 100,000
Obviously.
in Perry County, but, and I think they make reference to 2005 is what they're saying the last time it was actually updated, so.
Yeah, I didn't know it had been that soon.
So, but I'm questioning how they arrived at $4,600. Somebody would have had to say, you know, it's gonna take us 10 hours or $100 an hour and 5 hours of something, you know, relevant without knowing how many documents. I'm just wondering whether this, how this thing was arrived at a price.
So unfortunately, I do apologize, I'm coming in on the
I
back
get it.
end on
I get it.
Tara's exit.
Yeah.
But I know that she did do the research and she was working with Luke and they were working through Region 15 to come up with this plan. So I feel confident in Tara's research and her information. And I think you were at the zoning board that night too. So, yeah, so we'll have to do some legwork more than likely. We'll probably have to have Junie help us do some of that with his hours too.
See, and that's where I would think you'd first want to sort out the documents and say, I have actually 20 changes of zoning.
Or I think that their contract says it's not to exceed, so if we have 10 or 25, it's not going to exceed that dollar amount, so.
Yeah,
I
but.
think, in fact, the conversation that I was part of, that I was listening to, I think not to exceed, but I think the price was $4,600, I think that's what it is.
In other words, you're gonna charge us 4,600
Yes.
irrelevant of
Yes,
what?
yes.
It's just a flat fee?
Yes, yes.
Then are we gonna get, it says in there we're gonna get an electronic document?
So we're supposed to get maps, and then if we want to purchase additional maps, there is that option.
It says they're gonna provide digital files.
Yeah, it says here, an electronic copy produced by the commission, Indiana Region 15, as part of the contract shall be provided to the county.
Yeah, because that is online, it's on the region, the other counties are on there.
But they're gonna
So-
provide that electronic copy. The reason I'm asking this here is because they say they're doing it in CAD,
Mhm.
and if we have the map with all the zoning and everything in it, then updating a CAD program is
easier.
relatively simple.
Yes.
And if we actually, once it's reduced to CAD, and we actually modify it as zoning is changed, you won't have to come back in front of us again.
That works well for me.
Exactly.
So,
So, and that's why I would be, that's an area if we could get the CAD files.
Okay.
You know, as part of the package, so that we'd have the ability to
Okay.
find a local
sure.
CAD person or somebody to keep them up to date.
And and I believe that was part of the original
Yeah.
plan, so that we could
Update them ourselves.
update them ourselves.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
That way, if you stay on them when you change one, it's not a big
It
deal.
doesn't
Right.
happen very often either, so.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. I can't remember a lot of zoning changes that I've read through the years.
We
There's a
haven't,
few.
haven't had one, I've only been the attorney for the plan commission in
This
2
is-
years, and I
This
don't
is
think
year
we've had one.
5, I think, and I think we've had one.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, it's not a lot, and I don't know that you've actually modified your zoning ordinance.
Well, the last time we modified the zoning ordinance was to change the fee structure, and that was the
Yeah,
last.
that was
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
So there again, that's not a map
And we,
issue.
we know we have some changes we need to make to lure new industry and new types of things that we lacking, so we're working on those too, so.
So is this map gonna be obsolete soon then?
No, I don't think we work that fast.
Okay. All right. That's my questions.
All right.
So you're comfortable with this 4,600 and it's justifiable to pay them that much?
Yes, after the additional, the 10,000 costs that we were getting the same thing for, yes, from a different company.
Okay. I'll make the motion to approve it if the council's okay with it.
Yeah, the council's already appropriated it, so I will second that motion. Motion made.
Thank you, guys,
2-0.
for your time.
Thanks, Susan.
Well, we're gonna need to change the,
Date, there's a
The
new
date.
copy. Charlie Baumeister has a new copy. He told me that Sunday.
well, we'll get the new copy for you guys, and the only change on it will be the dates,
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Section 6 and 7, the start date and the end date.
Okay. Next thing on the agenda is the approval of the bid specs, and I looked them over, Randy, you had pulled them together, and, I mean, I'm okay with,
Send them out?
yes.
The only thing we need to do, I know there's some blanks in there, when you wanna send them out, how long you wanna,
yeah.
2 weeks or whatever to get your bids back in, those are the blanks that need to be filled in.
Yeah, there's-
And then set some type of an opening, I don't know whether you wanna open them at like a commissioners meeting.
We will have to.
So,
Mhm.
Yeah, so they'd have to be sealed, received by us 4 o'clock, usually, that's usually when you do it, you receive it by the time the auditor's office closes, and then we bring them to the commissioner's meeting and open them there.
So,
so right now you're talking about changing the 20th to the 19th.
mhm. But that's not, that's too soon to.
Yeah, that would, if we sent them out tonight, it's still 14 days would make the 20th, because we don't have them out tonight, so that would only give them 2 weeks, so possibly the next one in
The
October?
first October meeting, I would think.
Okay.
Because I want to give more than
Yeah.
just 2 weeks.
Because we have to get them advertised, and then you want to open them, what date?
The,
October, whatever they did.
what is date,
The
what is
first
that date? The Monday, first Monday, October.
I got the 3rd, I
I think
think.
you almost want to go to the.
It'll be October the
last
3rd.
week in October, because it's going to take us time to advertise and what have you.
How long will it take to
People are
advertise
busy.
then?
As far as that bidding, you'll get the package together, especially if you're going to, the specs include both buildings.
Yep.
Once I get the actual document, I can get it advertised, and it's according to how long you want to give them to be able to fill out and get the bids back in. How much time you're looking at.
Probably the earliest you can get it advertised is
Well, and now it won't go in Thursday's paper.
Monday at the earliest.
So how long does it take a contractor to pull a bid like that together, Keith?
It's a big project, you know. If they're busy in that, they may, you know, it's a lot of the same thing, but
This is just rebulbing, so I think guys that do that,
that's not necessarily revolving, it should be rewiring. You're just going to rebulb.
well, you have to pull the balances out.
Right.
According to the newspaper, I think we have to have.
We can put it the middle October meeting for the opening.
To
That's-
advertise for
Yeah,
the 12th.
that would work.
Okay,
They've
I'm
changed
fine
all
with
their
that.
advertising dates.
Just get her
If I
started.
don't do it
Yeah.
by 10
I don't
o'clock
care.
tomorrow,
She
Okay.
may not be able to get it advertised till
the 15th, because
15th.
the news has changed all their
the
times.
deadlines are so
As of right now, to
Okay.
get it in Monday's paper for the 12th, I'd have to have it to them by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
October the 18th is our second, what I've got down here for October.
Will that be soon enough?
It's a
Yeah, because if
Tuesday.
we get it in September 15th, you're giving them a good 3 weeks for sure.
Okay.
You're giving them almost 4 weeks to be able to, I'll have it advertised, they can start picking the bids up after the 15th. And that gives them about 4 weeks, and then we'll have them turned in by 4 o'clock on the 17th to open them up on the 18th.
That morning.
Now, Chris won't be at that meeting, but you guys can still
We
open
just
them.
still
in.
open them, yeah.
Yeah, until Chris's approval.
Nope.
Do what?
Completion, and we do have it, the completion time, we don't have that in there.
We should.
I don't believe. It's been a while since I read them.
Like 90 days after awarding the contract.
Yeah, you're right, Randy. There's a place in here on 13, all selected projects must be completed by blank.
Yeah, we gotta fill in
Yeah.
that along with when, there's others where we have to,
By,
when you have to have your bid in and by what time and all that has to be filled out on this once we decide.
right. Would completion of it,
See, and the other thing is I mean, when you come in here and do this, it's written right now as they have to do it outside of normal business hours. Now, that won't work for the jail, because normal's
there
Right.
is no
full-time.
normal,
So,
right.
now for the courthouse, whether you want them, and I'm assuming they'd come in and work room at a time. I don't know how disruptive that'd be versus they come in and work in the evenings and night. It's whichever way, we can modify that, whatever you think's the most appropriate.
You want to put it in, completed by December 31st? That would be 90 days after the,
Yeah.
As long as you award them right away.
Right.
In October, you know.
Well, I would think normally if we open the bids, then Chris takes them under advisement, and we'd have to wait and award them unless we had a special meeting, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
That's the problem, because you review their
Then
specs.
Now, if you, well, yeah, you can't, you gotta review the specs, you can't just award them.
Yeah. So we
right,
have
so
to go through
the
the-
awarding would be the next meeting, November.
So you gotta push it off.
And then you're going 90 days on
The
this.
rewarding wouldn't be until November 7th, because that's your November meeting.
Yeah. So we want to give 90 days for completion, so that would put it to.
February 1,
Huh?
February 1.
February 1. That sound fair enough?
Yeah, I think so. Now, so let's make sure we got this how we're gonna do it. You're gonna open them on October the
18th.
18.
18th.
I'm gonna advertise them on,
On the courthouse, the financing hadn't been determined yet, has it?
I think the council's gonna come up with it one way or the other. What we're gonna do though is we're gonna, during this period of time, we're going to, accept bids, but we're not gonna award them. And during that period of time, if we don't have the funding, then we just don't award them.
See, we talked about that, we didn't know what to ask for an additional appropriation until we got the,
Right, but
It's
we
got-
know the jail's got the money,
Right.
the jail project.
Yeah.
it'll still have to be appropriated though. So we don't know what to ask to appropriate till we have the bids. And, yeah,
So they'll be due October 17th at 4 o'clock.
yeah, I've got advertised on 9/15, take the bids up until October 17th at 4 o'clock, open the bids on October the 18th.
will we have to have an appropriation then from the council?
Before you award them, you will, unless you award them subject to an appropriation, which doesn't give a contractor a lot of comfort.
I would,
So this could back your completion date, because then,
you're gonna award on.
if you're not gonna award them until November
November
7th, the council won't be meeting on them until, I think their meeting is on the 17th.
What about October? See, we'll have our bids in on the 18th. We'll know how much money's
Well,
involved.
that's true.
And if we can get the
But their
council.
meeting,
advertised.
but their meeting's on the 27th, and I have to advertise the additional 10 days
Right, so
before.
there's not enough time, and that's gonna be my
If
question.
No.
you advertise in excess, is that a problem?
We don't
No,
know what it's gonna be.
no, we
We
can
could,
advertise in excess.
Couldn't we have a special council meeting 10 days to cover that?
Will that still leave time to award it November 7th?
Sure.
Sure.
If you have a
Okay,
special meeting.
if you don't award them until the, or if you don't open them until the 18th, to know the amounts, That's already a Tuesday. I won't be able to probably get it in the paper till the 24th. So 10 days is gonna be, you could possibly have a meeting on I would go November the 4th for a special council meeting
For the
as far as the
additional
funding.
appropriation.
Then you can appropriate, then you can award the 7th.
Yes.
That sounds like a good schedule. No, I mean, so we can get moving on
Yeah.
that.
They'll do it, yeah.
Okay, so let me.
And then
okay, so you're
completion's
gonna
gonna-
award on November 7th.
Completion
For
February.
February 1st, 2023.
So I need to do
In your specifications, Randy.
an
how many
additional
involves
advertise.
This building, how many involves that building?
How many fixtures? And then they have to come
Additional
in,
advertise it.
according to our RFP, they need to
The
visit
24th.
the site and confirm
And then a
the
special
counts,
council
the
meeting.
fixtures, and what's happening. So it's not,
Yeah.
you
You
know,
may want to consider having
No, the election ain't till the 8th.
you could,
a pre-bid
yeah.
on like Saturday morning where it don't cause so much chaos of contractors coming in at different times here and there.
It depends how much, I don't know how, we'll see how much interest is and how this goes. We can do that.
Especially like with the courtroom, what have you.
Yeah.
You know.
So that'll have to be something that's coordinated.
Right.
Now, I think there's it's called out the building administrator, I think, for this building will be the one that the contractor manages the installation with, and then the jail, I'm assuming, will be the sheriff, is who will coordinate any installation.
No, that would be the,
J.R.
Greg,
Gibson.
because he coordinates maintenance there too. Same
Greg,
thing.
Hendershot?
Mhm.
Okay, so we have a reference of who's gonna be responsible, so the contractor, it's just like here, we can't have somebody in the courts trying to change out fixtures when she's trying to conduct.
Right,
Alan, would
Greg,
it be, Alan, would it be Greg or would it be Ron Gibson, your jailer, that you'd want to coordinate jail work with?
Probably through me, and I'll go with, I will talk with Greg and Ron.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we don't have an administrator for this building,
No,
so.
you really don't want me coordinating it, so I probably haven't.
but that can be, Greg can coordinate that, Greg Hendershot.
Okay.
He
So let's call out the building administrator, and that can be a mushy, depending on where we are.
Whoever you
By the
all
time-
designate.
Yeah, at that time, and then we can say this guy, whoever, you know, is, depending on who's wearing the hat at that time. This will be
Right,
into,
But they're not, Greg has been coordinating the maintenance of the building for the last 2 years.
well, sure, Teresa was doing a lot of it. She was wearing a lot of hats. Okay.
All right, so, you want to make the motion, you want me to make the motion to accept the bid specifications as written?
As,
Will be changed.
will be, as modified.
You have to
because-
modify them.
Yeah.
And Pam, if you're gonna modify them, item 11, take out school.
Oh, yeah.
They replace it with building there.
From each building.
I'll probably have to type that in.
Randy, do you have this in Word? She can,
Teresa's got it, and then, guys, she's got it all,
does she?
because she's the one that put it together. I got it from the school.
Well, let me
their
look at-
RFP,
Actually,
and then send it to you.
You said to me, I've got it
Yeah.
in Word. I
So-
should have it.
So you're gonna modify it?
Sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So it's,
I'd love to.
because you looked at it, and I think you had a couple suggestions that I think we put
We
in
made
it. I don't know
those.
whether you changed it or Teresa changed it. It's been a while back.
This is, when was that?
It's been a while.
I was gonna say,
So,
because if nothing else, I can look on Teresa's computer and
I'll
find
find
it.
it.
all right,
Can I?
Yeah, yes, you can.
all right, so everybody knows we're okay with that one. So, Tom, did you make a motion?
Yeah, I can make that motion to accept it as modified, the bid specifications for the LED lighting in the courthouse and jail.
All right, and I'll second that.
Motion made, second carried, 2-0. The other thing on our, under commissioners is that we have an appointment to the Port Authority currently held by Danny
ARP
Thomas.
committee, John.
Huh?
Oh, that ARP committee.
We're
We
still,
didn't put that on the agenda tonight.
we're waiting 6 weeks to,
Strike it off. It's on mine.
That was a draft. The original agenda did not have it, and then normally when Teresa changed the agenda, she made it a different color before it was adopted, and I just didn't do that.
She only did it for these up here anyway, she didn't do it for them out there.
right,
No, I just see it on your belt, maybe you have to
No,
strike that.
Randy wanted to wait, so we'll wait.
okay, so Port Authority.
Port Authority held by Danny Thomas now, was a 6-week notification of the Port Authority Board appointment. So we'll make that appointment November 7th.
Now, Tom, I'm gonna probably be in opposition to that, because right here on this letter, his term is not up till 12/31/22. So that's December the 31st, as is all the appointments. So if we start taking one out and trying to early appointment, I just feel like whoever sits in these seats beginning the first of the year, that's who the public chose to make these decisions, and I feel like they should be afforded, whether it's council, commissioners, or whomever, they should be afforded the opportunity
Well, do
to,
you want to table that then?
yes.
All right, we'll
Because
table.
I think if we start early appointing things, then where does that stop? And
Okay,
they're
we'll
trying
table
to,
that.
they're trying to reorganize early, and every county entity reorganizes the 1st of January.
Okay, we're going to table that then, right? Okay, miscellaneous?
I don't have anything.
I do, if we've got one thing, just for discussion purposes. I went through, this is back months ago too, on our insurance, on our vehicles. We're currently carrying $500 deductible, and I'm not exactly sure the structure on how that all works. But in today's cost structure, I think we could at least go to 1,000 or so, or get a price on it. I noticed some of Steve's equipment's getting some age on it, where he still uses it, but I'm not sure the insurance company's gonna pay off much, and we may wanna take it to just liability only. I don't know how much savings we'd have, or I know the commissioners make that decision, but I'm not exactly sure the process and how that's handled. To give us an idea what our savings might be if we changed our coverage a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
somebody
we can discuss
educate
that
me.
with the carrier.
I mean, how do you do that? I mean, does the carrier come in, do we send them a,
Yeah, who do we have property through?
Bronson's.
We just have them
tell
get
us
a
what?
list of the vehicles that are insured and look at their ages and, yeah.
Right,
tell us
because
what-
$500, and I'm sure it's been that way forever, and it's just something, and it may be some substantial savings. If it's not much, then I wouldn't change it.
All right,
But
well,
it is.
we can have them,
And Steve, did you figure out the number that you had? I know you and Pam had it, one serial number or something that was a little
There's
different.
one thing on there that's not ours, there's an international truck on there that we've never had.
that you've never had. I wonder if it's in the company, or in the county's inventory somewhere, or whether it,
I couldn't find it, well, all I had was our inventory, I don't know anybody else that have a dump truck.
yeah. So maybe it's still hanging on there and we don't even have it within the inventory.
It possibly could have years ago been on our inventory, I mean, when it was new, but it isn't on there now, it hasn't been for several years.
Okay, that's for sure, we want to remove that one. You know which one
I
that
asked
is?
Bronson to get us a price, compared to raising the deductible, she said she would get me something together on that, but I haven't received anything yet.
And about how long was that?
Oh, that was, 6 weeks ago, well, it was when you.
First talked to you about it? Okay.
Yeah, I
Which
asked them
vehicle?
If they could get us a price, she said they would.
okay, we'll ask.
Which vehicle is it to remove?
It's an international
Harvester dump truck.
truck truck.
Is that the only international that you had on that list? Yeah, we want to make sure we get the right one to take
Yeah,
off.
get a bit, yeah.
Yeah, we
Check
probably
the
need a
VIN
VIN
numbers
number
and
on
stuff.
it.
So, But if it's on there, I mean, that one for sure comes off if we don't have it in the yard.
I'll go call them and get a listing of all the vehicles.
And confirming Pam and then ask them once again about letting us know what the difference would be.
Okay.
Bill, you have any?
Yeah,
Keith, you have a comment?
Are you getting anywhere close as far as setting up interviews for administrators?
I did talk to the loan applicant today, and we got a legal issue to check, and then we will, if she's still interested in the job, then we'll try to schedule an executive session to interview her next week. She wants a week's notice. Sure.
What's the legal issue?
We want to make sure it's not two lucrative positions. I don't think it is, but I'm going to check. I don't think it is.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
looked
worth
one,
looking
if
at.
I remember correctly,
Tom called me on the way home, and I hadn't been in the office to look at it.
if it's not a countywide
We want to make sure.
position, yeah. It's not,
Because
you
she's a
know,
trustee, right?
yeah,
She-
and that's
No,
specific
she's
to
running.
the.
She's running.
Yeah,
She's running.
so she's not
Yes.
even, she may not even get elected.
No, she's not one at this point in
She's
time.
not
So-
appointed, she's not opposed, so.
She isn't?
She probably will.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's a lot of them running, still putting their signs out that's not opposed, so they
I
might
know.
be careful.
Well, I mean.
But I don't think it
I
is.
don't think
but-
she's opposed, as far as I know.
I don't think it is either, but I do want to
Okay.
confirm it.
So, how long, Chris, do you
I
think?
should know tomorrow, the next
Okay.
day. of
If
play.
she is, then I'll contact you and Randy about scheduling an interview.
Okay.
I mean, if it was an issue, couldn't she resign from if she wanted to leave?
Sure. She hasn't won yet, Keith,
Her
so I don't.
conversation with her, she said that if she cannot hold both positions, then she's not interested in the county administrator.
Okay.
That's what she told me.
So we just want to make sure before she goes through the,
Yeah.
you don't want her to quit her job or whatever and then take this one and say, oh, oops.
Right.
So it should be a pretty quick, I mean, I should know tomorrow, the next day. I don't know why I wouldn't.
Okay, so a week to 10 days, you'll be getting something put up where we'll have an interview if everything checks out?
If everything checks out, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but her, because the salary wasn't, she didn't know what the salaries were, so I told her what the salary was. And asked her if she's still interested in it. And she said only if she could hold both positions. And I didn't double check, but she's the one that told me she was unopposed, so
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't follow enough of that to know for sure.
I don't know why she wouldn't be accurate on that, but, and it's been advertised long enough now that that's the only applicant we have.
Okay. I think Pam would like some help.
Yes.
Anytime.
Anything else?
All right, next meeting? Oh, next meeting, we,
Yes.
traditionally is,
Next meeting would have been, or should be October
No, September.
September the 20th at 9 a.m.
right, but I'm gonna ask if we can move that to the 19th. Randy, do you have an issue with that?
I don't have a problem. I just gotta change my calendar.
Myself and Pam both have conflicts that
So 9 a.m.
9 AM.
Still?
Good.
Okay.
That's a Monday now.
Yep.
Right. All right, thanks,
Okay.
everyone. We have things to sign.
I know I had that email, Randy, I just got it. I don't do emails. So it's,
It's, I can't remember, you were changing some language or something in there for something.
I don't remember what it was either.
What it is, but it's not a big deal. No. But,
Hey, Chris, did you have a chance to look at NDOT safety?
Yeah, I haven't done it yet.
Do any of you guys know what the hell's going on outside?
Well, it rained today, I got that.
You know what's going on outside?
did you break out or something? Is that what's going on here?
Yes, it is.
That's what I was thinking, right, I'll take you back over.
I almost got up and left. You guys are talking about lights or something?